Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite boots of 2022 has to be the Asics DS Lite X Fly 4. And they came out with the X Fly Pro, which is in this box today. And I want to show you what the differences are and why Asics decided to make a new speed boot model, sort of to compete with the likes of the Mizuno Morelia Neo 3s made in Japan models. So we're gonna hop straight into the unboxing of this boot. I got them in the same colorway, so you guys will be able to see the differences hand in hand, right next to each other. This 1 month review of this boot will be going out very soon. I've been wearing these like crazy. Fun fact, in the recent trial that I went to, the Combine in Charlotte with OPSM, my agency, I actually brought my favorite boots right now, the Battle Pack remakes, and these were my second choice over everything else, and I don't know why. I just always keep coming back to them. They're so comfortable, they're so awesome. So anyway, let's go into the new version of these, which is the Asics DS Lite X Fly Pro, which is their lightweight version of that one. Makes for more of a speed boot type feel. So everything about this box is very, very similar to the other generation. This is in a 27, which is a US 9, and basic Asics box. You're not gonna get anything different with these compared to anything from their running models either. So let's open these up. And as I mentioned before, boom, they are in the same red colorway. There you go. So very similar looking. I already see a lot of differences actually, but that's also because I have worn, that's where a lot of the differences will lie, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. But these are noticeably a little bit lighter. The texturing on the upper is a little bit different as well. Just the stitching is slightly different, and then we'll go from there. So let's get these unboxed really quick. The other one is in here. No string bag per usual Asics boots, which is not disappointing necessarily, but just, you know, whatever. Okay, so here you go. And let's get the other model. So I know these are used, and I know I haven't like laced them up or anything. So there and there, right? So you can kind of see the differences. Boom. Okay, so let's get these under the microscope, so to speak. We'll pop this out of the way and we'll get these. Okay, so there you go. So you have next to each other, boom and boom. Awesome. Okay, so this is the new model that we're reviewing today. This is the one obviously that I've used, right? So this one, the stitching, as you can see, is a little bit asymmetrical, and what that's supposed to do is that's supposed to essentially allow the leather to stretch and do a really nice job of molding to the shape of your foot in this forefoot area, but not be able to overstretch in any sort of way. For these ones, I actually haven't felt any overstretching at all. I found these to be really, really excellent, so I'm not sure if the asymmetrical lacing system here that's a little bit different. I mean, it looks like this stitch right there where my finger is basically follows the same pattern. So maybe it's just a marketing thing, I'm not sure. But let's pull these out of the way and talk about this boot. So this is the Asics DS Lite X Fly Pro, indicated right here. And these are such a nice, there's your logoing on the back as well. Hopefully you can see that. There you go. DS Lite X Fly Pro. And these have the Moist Tech, you can see that logo right there, which is basically Asics ACC technology. Now, ACC, people debate whether it's actually a real thing. The coating on this one, Asics basically claims, hey, we're gonna make this coating that goes over the top of especially this leather material so that in wet conditions, the leather still stays soft and doesn't get all crunchy and gross, especially when it dries out. And the leather quality on these is really, really nice. On the X Fly 4s, I really found that the leather was awesome. It's super premium. I'd say it's about on par with the made in Japan Mizunos. Maybe it's like a half a step down from those, but these are definitely better than most other leather boots on the market. And I'm really excited to try on this particular pair because I think I already absolutely love the X Fly 4s. These are just a little bit of a lighter weight and different feel to them. They're supposed to have about the same shape and everything and should fit most foot types as well. So The midfoot area is the same premium synthetic micro SK material, which is very similar to the Mizuno synthetic. So as you can see kind of my fingers poking through there on the bottom. And this is a really nice, flexible, yet also rigid material that really holds your midfoot in and in the heel area. So this actually has that technology all through basically everything except for the K leather is that material. So it offers a really nice customizable fit. It breaks in really well and it gives you a lot of lateral stability. It reminds me a lot of the Kangolite material, like a much more updated version of the Kangolite material from Nike, and then also that Mizuno Morelia Neo 3s, not the beta edition with the fly knit, but their knit material, but the one that has the normal lacing system in it. So that's awesome. Speaking of lacing system, this is what Asics calls their quote unquote power hold technology here in the midfoot. So that is basically to have really nice deep lacing system. So it gives you a ton of grip and a ton of lateral stability when you have the laces tied tight, and gives you a super nice feel on when you tie everything up, because especially in, let's see if I can get the old ones. So as you can see, the old ones are quite broken in and it's really nice and wide, where the width of my foot is widest here on the midfoot. And what this has offered for me is for the ability to essentially go a little bit tighter here where the boot is, it's already naturally its widest here in this area. And then as it moves this way, I can loosen the laces a little bit to sort of make sure that that midfoot stays a little bit wider as I use the boots. So that has been such an awesome feature of the X-Fly 4, and it's the same for the X-Fly Pro, right? So a little bit different in the tongue area. You've got this mesh material for the tongue. The other thing that they do really nice is they put these two little, or actually it's 4 now. Wow, okay, so awesome. So they have 4 little holes for the laces in 2 separate like layers or levels of lacing. And what that does is it really provides an excellent lockdown for the tongue. And so in a traditional tongue system like this, you often get tongue sliding side to side. One of the complaints that I think a lot of people had of the all-white Adizero 4 leather remakes that I love, the one complaint that I actually have as well is that the tongue just goes like this, crazy back and forth, back and forth. You're always readjusting it, you're always getting it back in position. With these and with the X-Fly 4s that I've been really enjoying, both of those have these really unique systems where it's really not rocket science, but it's just 2 little lace holes, and in this case 4, where it provides such a nice lockdown where as soon as you tie the laces tight, the tongue doesn't move at all. So it essentially negates the need for like a tongueless sensation like in the Morelia Neo 3 betas, where they have their knit material in the midfoot. Instead of doing that, these guys have just figured out a way to make a traditional lacing system. And what that also does, that I think this is totally brilliant for, is what that does is it allows you to have this beautiful, beautiful open lacing system where you can adjust the laces and then the tongue just will stay in the middle, as opposed to the made in Japan Mizuno Morelia Neo 3 betas, which what that does is because it's already a predetermined shape with the knit material here in that lacing system, what that's going to do is that's going to kind of inhibit the amount of stretch that you have in that midfoot. And for me, that's something that I really enjoy and really need, is that right in this area right here on the outside, I really need this part of the boot to stretch a little bit, and having a traditional lacing system really helps with that. The insole is a combination of Solite and BDK. I'm not sure what that stands for, but this is the liner. So the liner is very, very traditional for Asics. It's got this like nice curvature to it, really adds a little bit of padding in that arch area, so you actually feel a little bit of extra padding in the arch, which is super nice. And what that does is the Solite is for the comfort. It's a really thin, pliable, but also like almost like a memory foam kind of material that they put in their running shoes. And then the BDK is this coating here, and that's just for a little bit of extra grip. So that's a pretty standard thing for the Asics brand. Most of their running shoes, most of their, I know a lot of it, all their football boots, at least the ones that I've seen in person, all have this same technology in them. Just gonna throw the insole in there really quick, make sure that that's all good to go. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay. And then the other thing that is the biggest talking point for these boots, I think, is this sole plate. Now, this sole plate is really, really interesting. So the sole plate is a very standard stud pattern as far as Asics goes, except they've added this toe stud, or this like little inverted toe stud, for a little bit of extra push off going forward, right? So they added right there, you can see it, just a little bit of extra grip in the forefoot. These studs are really awesome, and the reason I love them is because it is a conical stud, but as you can see as you get closer, they've got these little cutouts in all three places. So it looks almost as if you were to sort of blur out the shape of a shamrock or something, like a 3-leaf clover. And that's what they look like. And it's really, really interesting because what this does is it provides you a really nice amount of grip and bite in lateral directions and pivoting, or lateral directions and moving forward and backward, but it gives you the pivot power of just a straight conical stud. So I think from Asics perspective, that's a really cool design, and it's just a little bit of extra stuff that you'll notice a little bit more bite on the lateral stuff, which I love, because then this really does do the speed boot job, but also gives you enough lateral stability where it doesn't just feel like a track spike, right? Because if you tried to turn on a track spike, it would just be a nightmare. The other thing that's so interesting about these boots is the first impressions when I took these out, I was thinking this in my head as I was talking to the camera earlier a couple minutes ago. This feels like felt. I know that sounds crazy, but it's completely exposed. And what this is basically they've done a nylon resin through the entire, their entire outsole, and then they've taken out a lot of the resin material because it tends to be a little bit heavier, and they removed it and added a durable waterproof mesh. And that's what this material is. So it is like, it literally does feel almost like, I hope that comes on camera. I hope you can see that. It really, really does almost feel like felt, which is crazy to me. So I'm hoping that this doesn't I hope this doesn't carry water or anything. I mean, it's supposed to be waterproof, so hopefully that's the idea. But the basic idea is that it reduces weight and gives you a little bit of a lighter boot. And in general, this boot is actually up there with the top lightest boots. I believe it comes in at like 190 grams or something like that, or 195 grams, which is crazy for a boot that is a leather, like basically a fake leather and kangaroo leather upper speed boot, which is awesome. So the other thing that they've done is they have nylon ribs throughout the whole thing as well, so that especially through the midfoot and the heel for stability. And what that does is really provides that you don't get a ton of, right? So from here all the way back, here all the way back, you don't get a ton of snapback, but then you get that little snap in the forefoot, and these are really snappy. I think this is gonna be a mainstay boot in my rotation. I'm so excited. If you guys don't like Asics boots, that's totally fine. I am, since discovering this one and then looking at the X-Fly Pro, I have been absolutely obsessed with Asics boots because they fit my foot and they give me the same feeling that I imagine what guys like J-Mike talk about with the Mizuno Morelia Neo 3 Betas. Like, they're the best boots on the market. I don't really fit in them, but these give me the same kind of luxurious leather feeling, but also super lightweight and incredibly comfortable that I imagine he or Michael also says about those boots. And I'm just ecstatic to be able to try these on and to get these in the rotation. So a couple other things really quickly, just to look at the differences between the two. So the other thing they've done is they've eliminated the heel counter. So this boot here is your X-Fly X-Fly 4, which is the one I've been using, and then this is like the speed boot model, the Pro, and so they've removed that external heel counter, which I'm not sure how that's going to go. I really think this provides a little bit of stability, which is great. The other thing too is you can see the two heels. Let's go this way. The two heels are a little bit different. So this one on the bottom, the X-Fly 4, looks a lot more like the Morelia Neo series, whereas this one looks a lot more like a traditional sort of rounded off boot. So I'm not actually sure if there's going to be any differences between the two of them as far as which one fits better in the heel area, but that's kind of what they look like side by side anyway, and there might be a little bit of extra room on this speed boot, like the speed boot variation, even though this X-Fly 4 that I've been wearing really is marketed towards kind of the all-around great fitting football boot. So without further ado, let's hop into the on-feet portion of this amazing looking, and obviously the colorway is sick, so I'm super excited to wear red football boots. Let's hop into the on-feet portion of this Asics DS Lite X-Fly Pro. We'll see how it fits on feet, and I'll give you a sense of what the sizing is like, of course what the touch is like, and all that stuff as well. Let's hop into it.
All right, fam, we're back in the facility with the Asics DS Lite X-Fly Pros. So not the 4s, the Pros. I'm really excited about these. I know Nike releases stuff, I get excited. Puma releases stuff, I get excited. Adidas releases stuff, I get excited. But the Asics DS Lite X-Fly 4s have made such a impression on me that I'm so pumped to try these like more speed boot type boots from Asics, because I think these might be an awesome option for me moving into next season, and of course on the off season for my training. It is absolutely freezing outside. I was meant to film inside, but unfortunately the field's being used, so we're out here. I am gonna do my best to give as best feedback as I can without like doing this, but yeah, here we go. Hop into the unboxing, or the unboxing, the on feet portion. See what I'm saying? My brain's going all over the place because it's so damn cold out here. All right, here we go. So here you go. Beautiful pair of football boots, really unique sole plate, as we spoke about before. Very excited to try these on. Okay, so hop in them here and kind of wiggle my way forward. Oop, come back a little bit so you guys can see. There we go. Ooh, nice. Oh, I love the way that Asics fits out of the box, because there's actually a really nice amount of arch support there, which I think is super, super lovely. I'm gonna actually unlace these a little bit more just to get a little more stretch through the midfoot, just to kind of see how we go there. Ooh, love that. See, that's what I love about deep lacing systems, is they just fit so good. All right, and if you can see it there's those 1, 2, 3, 4 of the different, of those little, like, I don't know what you would call them, like lace loopholes basically. And this might take me a hot minute to get these because my fingers are literally frozen solid right now. Okay, all right, that's pretty good. There you go. So that's what they look like on feet. Really, really comfortable boots straight out of the box. The sole plate feels really responsive as well right away, and I love the way, if you can see how the Asics really kind of curves up, so it really feels like a running shoe as far as like you strike and then you move forward. So let's get the other one on feet as well. We'll jump that one out of the way. And oh, that's not what I wanted. Excuse me for a second. Hopping around like a... Here we go. All right. So put this one on as well. And get in here. Boom. All right. There we go. So on feet, super nice. Yeah. And then again, I think like that's one of the things that the Japanese boot manufacturers, Mizuno, Asics, I've heard a couple other ones that they don't sell in the US. The deep lacing systems really do such a good job of like customizing the fit, and it's really not that, like, aesthetically I think it looks totally fine. The only thing that I think people get caught up on is the hype, and it really seems like functionality is what matters here, because a lot of people get caught up on the hype of like having a lace cover here, or having, you know, this isn't like a clean striking surface, but it's like, mate, if you can't if you can't bloody shoot with these, like, don't play soccer, you know what I'm saying? Don't play footy. So here they are on feet, the DS Lite X Fly Pros. I really like the differences that they've made in the heel as well. They both the 4s and the Pros fit really, really nicely in the heel area. These ones definitely feel a little bit lighter. I can tell that they feel lighter as well. They're probably a couple, I would say like an ounce, half an ounce to an ounce lighter, which again, if you're somebody like me who wears all sorts of different types of football boots, you kind of notice those little things when they're on feet, especially when you try them on and you've, you know, worn boots for a long time. For most people, these probably won't fit that much, or they probably won't feel that much lighter than the other ones. But it just depends on if you want like a more speed boot type, because I can already feel how much rock there is in this boot. Like if you notice, I don't know if you're going to be able to see on camera, but I'll kind of do this, but there is some significant rock to that boot. And what I mean by that sort of is that there's like, it really keeps you up on your toes, but it's also like for running and stuff, like for jogging, it feels so natural because of the way that the heel's been lifted by a couple millimeters. Maybe it's just 1.5 millimeters or something like that, but it allows for you really to kind of sit forward so that you're always ready to move. Touch on the ball on these, I'm gonna guess, yeah, thin, premium kangaroo leather, feels awesome. I think Asics nailed it with this one. Same with the X-Fly 4s as well, so they're basically the same touch on the ball. The materials of the upper are pretty much the exact same. The tongue construction obviously is a little bit different on the 4. It's a solid synthetic leather, whereas this one is more of a mesh. And again, that's just a weight saving thing. Once these break in, I'm sure these are gonna be one of my go-to boots. I think these fit, they look exceptional. I love red football boots. I think they look so good, and I'm really stoked to see how these go over the course of the next couple months of wear time, especially in the off season. These will be a great boot to get in. They'll feel light, they'll feel comfortable, they'll feel really agile, and they'll be an awesome go-to boot for just like comfortable training sessions where I'm not trying to do any type of certain thing, or I'm just feeling like wearing an Asics boot, which is awesome. I think these are a great option for a lot of people, and I really do think that if you are interested in getting a pair of Asics boots and you live in the US, I would go to eBay. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. Like eBay really is the spot where I get all of my Japanese boots from, other than some of the Mizuno releases I'll get on like ProDirect or something, depending on, or like a plug who gets them for me. But yeah, any of the Asics boots that I've had and most of the Mizuno boots that I've had are all from eBay, and it's all because they do like secondhand resell. Like they're all brand new and in box obviously, but they have like manufacturers that that send them over from eBay. So this is not a sponsored video. I'm not like doing this because, you know, I was paid by them. I'm not. I just think it would be beneficial for you guys to know that like eBay is such an easy thing. You go and you click, you got money back guarantee if you need it, and it's awesome. So yeah, great feel. Oh, I mentioned the studs earlier. So the studs have like, they are conical, but they've got those little cutouts in them. And I do think they fit really, really well. I do think they feel totally fine on AG surfaces. So if you are concerned about it being an FG boot, I wouldn't. These are awesome. We're on an AG pitch right now and they fit fantastic. There's a really good amount of lateral, like I'm kind of putting body weight on the lateral sides of the boot, and there's no slippage in the boot itself, which is it's a great sign. There's no like rollover, and the studs feel really, really good moving side to side while also having tons of pivoting power, right? So very, very good. Love these. Definitely initial rating, my guess is they'll be over the course of the 1 month review, my guess is these will be close to like a 9 out of 10 football boot. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, they're good looking football boots, and they're just functional, and that's what matters. So if you guys are looking for a pair of football boots that has a leather upper, super lightweight, super comfortable, good for your feet as well with some of the arch support and just like really comfy feel, would definitely recommend these. Check out eBay, type in the full name of the boot plus your size, and then you can find them there. If you guys like this kind of video that is more of like passion football boots that are a little bit different, not so mainstream, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, guys, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.